Hello, everyone. Mary Esther Miranda Gilbert here, back again. Today, I'd like to start a series of videos introducing the over 100 botanicals that happen to be in the book that I've published, I think, last year. So I'd like to try to just introduce these botanicals to the public so that they understand their own nutritional physiology. So there are many botanicals on the planet that I have researched over the years. There are literally 25,000 phytochemical compounds in innumerable number of plants on the planet that are so beneficial for our health. The science is very solid. Years of research have been pouring in on various botanicals that are used as superfoods, considered to be superfoods, and also considered to be medicinal, very functional foods. That's also another term that's been used. And nutraceuticals is another term that's been used. A lot of these foods are everyday foods that we find at the supermarket. Other foods are indigenous to different countries, so are taken into the United States and transformed into various forms of supplements. So we've got tinctures, and we've got herbal powders, and we've got different formulations that are in multi-nutrient supplements, multivitamin, multi-mineral, and they also may contain many different types of botanicals in those multi-nutrient formulations. So they're all over the internet. You can get them all in capsule form, in tea form, in powder form, so they're very available to us. So right now I'm going to start at the alphabetical end of the book that I've compiled, a very comprehensive tome that I produced after many months of research. Actually, a lot of these botanicals have been very familiar to me because I have been researching them and advocating them to my clients, just to help them improve their health. So if you haven't looked at my YouTube health transformation video series on my YouTube channel, just type in Mary Esther Gilbert on the YouTube search box, and you'll see my channel come up and all the videos that I've done. There's a series called Health Transformation. So I go over the human body, nutritional, physiology of the human body, and just familiarize everyone with the basics of how the body works on the inside and how these nutrients actually work, and the different factors that go into whole health, living a disease-free life and having worry-free health. And so, it's a holistic, synergistic kind of approach to managing one's health that has been quite successful for me personally, for friends and family, for countless clients, audiences. I'm, on Zoom calls much of the time, teaching audiences about their own nutritional physiology. Sometimes I'll endorse a product line because I think they're fantastic. So I've only actually done that 3 times in the last 4 years. So after analyzing so many different nutrients in so many different supplements over the years, I would reject 99% of them, because why waste money on 20 different supplements when you can just use a whole food supplement that contains all the vitamins and minerals and many phytochemical beneficial, phytonutrients, compounds that are in plants that a lot of companies will put in their formulations. So, we've got, there's really no excuse, although actually I take that back. The problem is people are not taught how to discern a credible information about a supplement versus a non-credible, approach to trying to sell you something. So this is where I come in. I have been teaching people how to just sort all of this out and not become a victim of misinformation, having to just take the long route to trying to solve various health issues, going the natural way. So yeah, I'm here to educate, and that's my mission. You know, I've been doing this for 40 years, and I've written books and set up my websites, especially holisticchoices.com. That's the hub of the information, and so from there you can check out my YouTube channel or go directly to the YouTube channel. So there's a few supplements on the site, and there's a number of videos that are educational and very eye-opening that on educating people about their nutritional health. And there's some videos there about specific botanicals as well. So yeah, I mean, you can either hang out at my website, holisticchoices.com, or go to my YouTube channel, you know, type in Mary Esther Gilbert, and you'll find a real eye-opening amount of information that will truly help you improve your health and manage your health, maintain your health, protect yourself from the disease process, from all of the pollutants that are out there in the environment, that are in our water, in our air, the pesticides that are sprayed on our foods, the genetic modifications of a lot of foods that have been known to damage our own DNA and how our own body functions. So essentially, I'm teaching people how to go in to the body and look at what's happening at the microcell level. Our cells are multiple trillions of them that compose all the different body systems, and our bodies also produce several multiple trillions of biochemicals that regulate everything, that stop and start all of these endless processes that keep us alive every single day. So anyway, today I'm going to focus on, again, I'm going by alphabetical order in reverse in my book, Potent Superfoods for Lifelong True Health. I'll post the link below this video in the description area. And if you like what you see here, please like, share, and subscribe. That way, other people who are interested in this, the algorithms on the internet, on YouTube, and everywhere else, will pick up this information and just put it in front of people who truly are interested in this kind of thing. So that's what the liking and the sharing and the subscribing is all about. Subscribe to my channel so you're notified of new videos that are going to be coming up on a regular basis now. I'm almost finished writing 2 books that I've been working on for a very long time. They're going to be produced, but after that, I'll start my online school, the True Health Mastery Academy, so watch for that. So yeah, if you type in True Health Mastery Academy.com, it'll go to the Teachable venue where I currently have 1 course so far, but I'm moving everything over to a different venue, and I will be announcing that. So if you want to be notified of when the online school, which this is going to be a demonstration of the kind of thing you'll be learning at the school. So it's just a subscription membership site, quite affordable. It's like having me as your personal, you know, consultant. And so I'll always be doing Q&As, and members can get the benefit of that. I'm already doing that, you know, on Zoom calls for people. And so I'm going to take that on an even wider scale and just gather, you know, people who are really interested in improving their health and are tired of going down all these blind alleys and just wasting so much money and time and getting so frustrated and upset. And, you know, sometimes there could be life-threatening situations where, you know, a lot of these botanicals have been shown, and I'll show you the science. I'll go through the science so that you know this is solid information. And so, you know, a lot of these botanicals have been tested scientifically by universities all over the world over time. And the results that people find match the scientific research results, you know, of the study subjects and their responses to the application of these different herbs or their different isolated phytonutrients sometimes. So mostly I like studies that show what happens when you take in the whole plant. So today I'll be talking about the turmeric root. This is the last one in the book, and I'll be working my way all the way up to the A's, you know, from A through T in this case. So yeah, let's go ahead and start in. As you can see, I've got the turmeric root, the photograph of a turmeric root here, and the turmeric powder. Now, this is a pet peeve of mine. Everyone, everywhere, pronounces it turmeric. There's an R in there, people. Let's start correcting that. I mean, really. So let's start pronouncing this amazing root by its proper name, turmeric, okay? Turmeric, not turmeric. It's like saying nuclear instead of nuclear. That always bugged me. That's another thing. Even nuclear physicists say nuclear. I guess it's kind of fun to say it that way. I don't know. But anyway, so let's go ahead and look at the turmeric root and all of the research that I've compiled and summarized here in this scientific monograph on the turmeric root. The scientific name is Curcuma longa. It's important to get your scientific names right. So sometimes, if you're looking at a different root that's similar to turmeric, and it looks like turmeric, and sometimes vitamin companies, have been known to substitute certain plants for what you think you're buying, kind of thing. But basically, you want to look for Curcuma longa on your supplement labels to make sure you're getting the right plant. Okay, so as you can see, this is the monograph taken out of the book I've written, and I'm going to also show you the scientific research. I use the APA citation in everything that I do. And if you only see one scientific reference by the Bias group of scientists back in 2015, it's because these usually are peer-reviewed studies where they've gathered hundreds or sometimes more than 1,000 studies from all over the world and analyzed the different studies that have been done on these particular botanicals. And so they have weeded out the ones that were either illegitimate or poorly done. There's a certain procedure, very rigid process, guidelines for performing proper scientific research. Okay, so scientists have to always comply and work within those very strict guidelines. Otherwise, if anybody can just go in there and make claims about it, which some companies do, especially so-called house scientists who claim that they've done research on a particular nutritional supplement, then to the layperson, they don't know the difference between a very, money-motivated company to say certain things about their products and pretend like they did a legitimate study. That happens all the time. So going into the legitimate studies and looking at peer-reviewed studies is the best way to ensure that you have the right format for producing, conclusive and very, very reliable and very credible scientific information on these botanicals. All right, so having said that, okay, so here we go. The turmeric plant is effective in the fight against various forms of gastritis and liver problems. So it's known to detoxify the liver and reduce inflammation in the stomach. It's also been useful in weight loss. It effectively breaks down fats and significantly simplifies the process of digestion. So it aids digestion. It helps your body break down dietary fats so that they're broken down to the carbon, hydrogen, oxygen molecules absorbed inside the intestines and distributed throughout the bloodstream. So, it's very good for digestion. It's also known to reduce the adverse consequences of obesity. So things like diabetes is if you eat a high carbohydrate, especially a refined carbohydrate diet, white sugar, white flour, white rice, where the fiber and the vitamins and minerals, everything has been stripped of the plant and all that's left is the starch. So that's highly concentrated form of sugar. And so the pancreas has a heck of a time secreting all that insulin to take that sugar out of the bloodstream. So that's very important to not have too much blood circulating in the system. You can go into shock. Okay, so the pancreas is very important for secreting the insulin that binds to the sugar and takes it out of the bloodstream. And if there's too much sugar in the bloodstream, a lot, then your body immediately converts it to body fat. Okay, so it's stored in the liver, it's stored underneath the skin, it's stored, in the heart, in the blood vessels. So a lot of times, this can cause inflammatory responses. So this is an anti-inflammatory food, and it's been shown to help the pancreas so that it regulates diabetes. So it produces, when you're in a state of inflammation, then it stimulates the immune cells to come and try to reduce any damage that's being done. So you want the immune cells, the macrophages, to eat up the damaged cells so that they don't clog the system, okay? And also, when your body's in an inflammatory state, you've got cytokines that cause inflammation in the heart and pancreas. So it's important to keep those inflammatory proteins down so that they do their job, but not flood the system and cause even more havoc, even more inflammatory responses. All right, so that's a couple of things. Now, this is a couple of pages worth of bullet points that I have summarized from all of the scientific data from the peer-reviewed study that I looked at. And that peer-reviewed study was the result of filtering through the entire internet in the world of all of the studies that have been done on turmeric. All right, so it also increases the effectiveness of skin cancer when directly applied to the damaged area. Okay, excuse me, skin cancer treatment when directly applied to the damaged area. So studies have shown that when turmeric was applied to the skin cancer as a treatment in their scientific research, then it reduces the cancer, okay? Also used for treatment of acne, inflammation caused by osteoarthritis, and diseases of the cardiovascular system. So already off the bat, you're seeing the word inflammation. So it has many compounds that help reduce and attenuate the inflammatory process. So anytime you have acne, that's an inflammatory process. When there are toxins in the body and your body's trying to eliminate toxins, or you're eating too many of the wrong foods, sugars, and especially heated oils, those are the culprits of so many health issues that I have found over the years. So heating an oil turns it into a plasticized trans fat. And we don't have the enzymes to digest plastic fats. So they are broken down as much as possible, but there's still particles that are circulating in the bloodstream, depositing and in plaques, forming plaques. A lot of the problem with heart disease has been found that they are hardened plaques from these fried oils, heated oils. Okay, so it's used for treatment of acne, which is one problem because of that from what I have seen and what the science shows. Inflammation caused by osteoarthritis, where the bones in the joints are deteriorating and there's little bits of bone pieces that are in the joints, causing very painful, very much stiffness in movement. Diseases of the cardiovascular system, another inflammatory response. So the phytochemical compounds in turmeric, along with, of course, the vitamins and minerals, they all work together, reduces the inflammatory effects. Okay, it also helps the immune system deal with psychological stress. So that tells me that the immune system, which works with the nervous system and the hormonal system in a stress response situation, all those systems work together to deal with the response, the inflammatory response, the stress chemicals that are produced. So the immune system has to deal with all of this. So turmeric has been shown to help the immune system, calm it down, calm the nervous system down, communicate with the hormonal system so that stress hormones aren't produced, things like that. Also, the turmeric supports the health of bones and joints, reduces joint pain and swelling through decreased production of the inflammatory enzyme called cyclooxygenase 2, also known as COX-2. So it's a COX-2 inhibitor. There are other, things out there, other plants and other different types of enzymes that are on the market that are COX-2 inhibitors as well, and they're usually extracts from, various sources, plant sources, and that kind of thing. It also keeps cholesterol levels in the normal range and has a lipid-lowering effect. It reduces fat in the circulatory system. So again, it's those wonderful plant compounds that go to work, sometimes on their own, sometimes along with the immune system and the nervous system and the hormonal system, to reduce fats in the circulatory system. So if you have a raw enzyme-active turmeric product or the plant itself, it's got the enzymes to reduce the stress, reduce the enzymes, reduce the swelling, reduce the inflammatory effect, and neutralize this inflammatory enzyme COX-2. It also has been shown to keep cholesterol levels in the normal range. It has a lipid-lowering effect. In other words, it reduces fat in the circulatory system. So a lot of times these either essential fatty acids or plant chemicals, the phytonutrient compounds, will bind to different types of fats and prevent absorption of the fats, or help break them down so that they're more absorbable and utilizable at the cell level for maintaining cell structures, cell membrane structures, for the pliability of blood vessels. You know, it just these types of compounds are utilized rather than just stay circulating the blood, you know, kind of thing, and just elevating the cholesterol levels and whatnot. So cholesterol levels, however, are interesting because our cell structures are composed of cholesterol, you know, among other things, of course. But cholesterol is extremely important. If we don't have cholesterol in our diet, our bodies will produce cholesterol. That's how important cholesterol is. It's when it starts solidifying in the bloodstream when it becomes a problem. So usually, though, it's the oils that cause this problem and not cholesterol. So when you know, science has analyzed the blood vessels of someone who's deceased and passed away from heart disease, they will look at inside the blood vessels and find that the plaques that are formed there that blocked, you know, the circulatory system and caused the death are composed of these plasticized heated fats rather than cholesterol. There's very little cholesterol there. It's probably because at the molecular level, cholesterol will kind of attach itself to the plastic plaques. And so cholesterol has a way of dissolving a lot of these solidification of these plaques. So you'll find that, you know, there among the plaques, but it's not something that will solidify in the body. It is liquid, you know, in our body temperature, so it's not going to solidify. It's not like an animal fat that solidifies at room temperature. All right, so cholesterol is very important, but when someone has a high level of cholesterol, it could be the result of stress chemicals that are elevating the cholesterol, or something else. You know, sometimes you have side effects of medications that disrupt the mechanism that regulates cholesterol, which is the hormonal system. Okay, so enough of that. So the next thing I found was that so much evidence shows that the curcumin in turmeric, that's one of the many plant compounds in turmeric, exhibits several cardioprotective properties. Anti-inflammatory actions prevent cardiac injury, and its antioxidant properties help improve circulatory pathways in the heart while destroying free radicals such as cytokines, suppresses atherosclerotic lesions in heart tissues, those lesions in the blood vessels caused by the hardened plaques, not by cholesterol, decreases thrombosis or abnormal clotting. And so, you know, you've got an abnormal clot forming because of the damaged blood vessel. And so the immune system and the body's enzymes all go to work to repair the tissue and dissolve the clot before it becomes an obstruction and causes a circulatory problem. But so it'll decrease, you know, if they break loose and become an embolus, a thrombosis is a clot that forms in an injury, but if it breaks loose and starts circulating throughout the blood, it's called an embolus. So if that happens, then of course, you know, hope that it does not block a very vital circulatory pathway to the heart or to the brain, causing heart attack or stroke. Okay, so this actually decreases the thrombosis or abnormal clotting. It may prevent strokes and lessen inflammation and blood vessel spasms after a stroke. Okay, so sometimes the blood vessels have these little peristaltic muscles and that move the blood through, up and down the body, you know, through the heart, all the way around, all over the body. So there's that kind of pulsing action that pushes the blood through. So if there's any obstructions there, it's going to slow that down, you know, raise your blood pressure and just endanger, you know, your circulation. So more evidence shows that the curcumin in turmeric exhibits several cardioprotective properties, anti-inflammatory actions that prevent cardiac injury, prevent injury of the heart. Its antioxidant properties help improve circulatory pathways in the heart while destroying free radicals such as the cytokines. And so I think I just read that. All right, on to the next one. Okay, so it contains at least 10 antioxidants that scavenge free radical molecules, foreign molecules such as synthetic chemicals from processed foods, agrochemicals, industrial chemicals. All those kinds of chemicals get stuck in the body and cause obstructions, disrupt the hormonal system, and damage the nervous system so that your neurons will misfire or not communicate information to the entire body. So its antioxidants protect against free radical damage to cell membranes. So free radicals are anything that does not belong in the body that's missing electrons at the atomic level and will go around in the body's attempt to neutralize these free radicals, donate the electrons from healthy cells to neutralize the radicals and help your body eliminate them. So our body's always dealing with free radicals. They could be, microbials that invade and cause illness, the viruses, the bacteria, the fungi, and the parasites, the microscopic parasites or any parasite. So it keeps the immune system busy. But, so all these different things cause all of these problems in the body. So they all need, the body needs to neutralize them by donating electrons so that they're not actively seeking our electrons from our healthy cells, okay? So that's what a free radical is. And they do their damage, it depends on what it is. What microbes do for our illness, that's the damage they do to and they tax the immune system. They produce all kinds of inflammatory responses, a whole cascade of problems, until the immune system has these microbes under control and destroys them and eliminates them and overcomes them. And then you've got all the synthetic chemicals that a lot of these phytochemicals in these plants will bind molecularly to these toxic chemicals and allow them to be eliminated. So that's detoxification in action right there. Getting rid of all of these toxins that are stuck in the body, they're stuck in the fatty tissues. They're very similar molecularly to fats. So the body doesn't always get a chance to recognize these synthetic chemicals, and they tend to go right through the blood-brain barrier. They go right through the cell membranes. The cell membranes are pretty discerning, but it's pretty bad when these chemicals are mistaken for fats. And they enter the system and they do their damage, at the cell level, and they're stored in the fatty tissues. So when your body is trying to release fat stores when you're exercising, that can be a problem too. You're re-releasing all these chemicals. So, that's some of the properties of the turmeric, where it helps bind to these chemicals and help your body eliminate them. There's an important group of compounds in the turmeric called curcuminoids. Curcumin is just one of them. The difuryl methane, difuryl methane. Yeah, that's a mouthful. All these other ones that are mouthfuls too, I'm not even going to, I'd have to just practice them. I haven't encountered them. There's thousands of them that I encounter all the time, and I don't take the time to really memorize how they're pronounced. But I can break it down. Demi-thoxy curcumin and bis-demi-thoxy curcumin. Okay, with practice, you can get fast at that. All right. So then they also have beneficial essential oils. So you've seen essential oils in these little bottles, and you apply a few drops. And so they help detoxify the body. They help balance the system. They help rid your body of, illness-causing organisms and all that kind of thing. So essential oils are highly concentrated forms of these plant fluids that contain all these different compounds. So the essential oils in the turmeric root are turmerone, curlone, curumine, cineol, and p-cymine. And there's various different kinds of sugars and proteins and resins. Resins are very, very beneficial also. Improves brain function through helping the brain produce more brain-derived neurotropic factor, or BDNF, found to be effective in delaying or even reversing many brain and age-related diseases and depression. And again, this is all done through the scientific process over time, many, many studies coming together to compare the different studies and arriving at these conclusions. It doesn't take one study to arrive at any credible conclusion. It takes many studies, or several at least. and it has to be done properly. All right, so the BDFNF is found to be effective in delaying or even reversing many brain and age-related diseases and depression, and in preventing the shrinking of the brain's hippocampus, the area of the brain that functions for learning and memory. Okay, so a lot of these problems that we're having in our health in this world are due to a lot of these problems that are in the environment, that are in our products, that are just bombarding the body and deteriorating our nervous systems and disrupting our hormonal systems, okay, and interfering with the immune cell's ability to recognize what shouldn't be there. Okay, so in preventing the shrinking of the brain's hippocampus, the area of the brain that functions for learning and memory. So if your nervous system, your hormonal system, your immune system is all being disrupted, how can they communicate and how can you even sit there and focus, let alone learn or memorize anything? So curcumin in the turmeric has been shown to cross the blood-brain barrier that I mentioned earlier and improve the neurodegenerative process of Alzheimer's disease by blocking the B-amyloid, the substance that causes plaques that narrow circulatory passages in the brain. Strong anti-allergic, antibacterial, anti-carcinogenic or anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, antifungal, anti-mutagenic. It stops the incorrect growth of tumors that start at the cell level. So it prevents the tumors from growing or the DNA to be to have any mutagens in the DNA occurring. So it prevents that from happening. Antiseptic, antispasmodic, and antiviral. Also found to hinder the development of chronic inflammation, tumors, and leukemia. So all of these mechanisms that start the disease process, it all starts at the DNA level in our cells. Information that gets disrupted or damaged, and cells are always replicating. So, the cells can start replicating incorrectly. That's called tumors. Also, diseases of the blood, leukemia. If the blood cells aren't replicating properly, you've got leukemia. Any kind of inflammatory response, there are so many things that cause the body's reaction to produce inflammatory responses. So the turmeric tends to attenuate all this and correct all these at the DNA level so that these things don't happen. Also, the turmeric is found to prevent the development of type 2 diabetes and pre-diabetics by lessening insulin resistance. So when your insulin gets shot into the bloodstream, trying to take all that blood sugar out, eventually some mechanism breaks down so that insulin no longer works. It cannot take that sugar out of the bloodstream. So that's the type 2 diabetes problem. So the compounds in the turmeric correct these mechanisms. Again, things are happening at the microcell DNA level. That gets corrected in there. The gene sequencing that provide the instructions to the body. If they're damaged, then things aren't going to work. Things are going to go wrong. So the curcumin and other antioxidants in the turmeric, which neutralize the free radicals and correct at the DNA level, has been found to correct a lot of these problems. Okay, so sometimes these scientific studies are done either in vitro or in vivo. In vitro is like a petri dish, laboratory medium of some kind of nutrient that grows the cancer cell in a laboratory dish, kind of thing, under certain conditions that are carefully monitored and carefully maintained in order to grow the specific type of cancer cells. So then you apply a lot of these phytochemical compounds, expose them to the plant in some way and see what happens. That's in vitro. Also, there's many studies that have been shown to apply the turmeric plant in different types of things that people ingest, their test subjects are ingesting. So they measure, who has been healed from the cancer in the study group versus the control group. The control group is just some neutral group, a group of subjects, humans that could be animals that are left alone, so that you have something to compare to when you apply the turmeric to those other groups of people who do have the cancer. So you can tell if it's the turmeric alone under very controlled conditions that's doing that's having this positive effect on the cancer. So, or it could be a double-blind study where neither the scientist applying the the medium, or in this case turmeric, versus someone who doesn't even know what they're giving out. So both sides aren't aware of who has what group of people or subjects, test subjects, have what. So that's the best way to do it, because it eliminates any subjectiveness or any power of the mind kind of projection onto the results. At the physics level, if you've studied physics, that is a very real thing. We have the power to predict to influence outcomes in this world. So the double-blind study is the best way to eliminate that factor. That way you have a real result. So you can tell if the turmeric's doing the job or not, kind of thing. All right, so next thing, overwhelming scientific evidence shows that turmeric can prevent cancer altogether by blocking certain enzymes needed for cancer growth. Researchers have attested that there was not any type of cancer cell upon which turmeric did not work, including colon, mammary, prostate, liver cancer, esophageal, and oral cancers. Researchers have also found that turmeric's curcumin treatments prevent cervical cancer cell proliferation by altering their HPV-associated or human papillovirus pathways. So there's all these biochemical pathways the body takes in order to accomplish a task. So you've got the presence of this particular compound in turmeric called curcumin. So they applied only curcumin to this type of cancer, and so and they found that this pathway that it takes to cause this type of cancer was prevented. Okay, so turmeric has been proven to be effective in the treatment of many serious ailments, including multiple sclerosis, anemia, atherosclerosis, back pain, fibromyalgia, bloating and intestinal gas, bronchitis, conjunctivitis, bursitis. All right, so we've got, okay, rather than have you go look these up if you don't know what they are, so multiple sclerosis is just an autoimmune response that damages the muscle cells, and the muscle cells become weak, more and more weakened over time. Anemia, where a person is iron and protein deficient, B12 deficient, then a person becomes tired and they have fatigue and they become pale and weak. So our bodies need these blood-enriching, strengthening nutrients. So turmeric has been known to alleviate anemia. Obviously, if you look at the coloring, it has iron in it, and it has the best form of iron is actually from an animal-derived source, from red meats and just meat in general, or even fish. They contain very, very absorbable. The blood of these animals are the most compatible with our cells and most absorbable and most utilizable. And a raw enzyme-active plant, shown here, also is very absorbable too, almost as absorbable as blood iron is from animals. All right, so found to hinder the development of chronic inflammation, tumors, and leukemia. Found to prevent the development of type 2 diabetes and diabetics by lessening insulin resistance. I already read that. Where am I? So I was talking about all these different terms. Okay, multiple sclerosis, anemia, atherosclerosis or hardening of the arteries, back pain. That could be a dislodged, disc in your spinal cord, or it could be maybe damage to your kidneys in that lower back pain area. There's all kinds of different causes of back pain, or maybe it's just sleeping in the wrong position or sitting in the wrong position for long periods of time that causes a temporary soreness. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons for back pain. But fibromyalgia, this is microscarring of the body's tissues, and it blocks the circulatory pathways. It blocks the neural pathways of communication in the nervous system. And whenever there's something wrong like that, the nervous system just lets you know in the form of pain what's going on. But fibromyalgia is a stiffness and microscarring of the tissues. Bloating and intestinal gas. That could mean a lot of things, eating too many sugars, which activates a lot of the anaerobic bacteria that produce a lot of gases, and so causing gas that way, or not chewing your food properly, and just having your poor stomach try to digest all that bulk without first chewing it. So digestion in the mouth, digestion begins in the mouth. So yeah, or it could be, just eating too much, just overloading the digestive system, your stomach, and that kind of thing. There's a lot of things that cause intestinal gas. Bronchitis, any kind of inflammatory response in the bronchioles, in the upper respiratory tract of the lungs. Conjunctivitis, inflammatory problems in the eye, in the conjuncta, I think it's called. Bursitis. So we've got these little jagged calcium deposits in, or calcium buildup in the joints. And so that causes inflammatory response as well. So that's bursitis, especially in the bursa of the spinal cord. So Crohn's disease, another inflammatory response to the immune system's inability to really regulate the immune system. Dyspepsia, heartburn, that could be caused by not enough enzymes in the diet to digest your food. So the stomach, the food just sits in the stomach a lot longer. And so, it just causes all kinds of gases, upsets that way. So yeah, there's different causes of heartburn as well, but that's just one of them. Diarrhea, again, it could be a microbial infestation, or it could be just your digestive tract trying to digest food, undigested food particles that are way too big, and it's just trying to reduce them down to, a digestible amount to move them through the digestive tract. So there's different reasons for diarrhea as well. It could be, a parasite that bores into, your stomach lining or your intestinal linings, and causes another inflammatory response and causes the body to release a lot of water, shoots a lot of immune cells into the area to try to repair it and eliminate the invader. So diarrhea, again, there's a lot of reasons for that. Stomach pain, again, problem, maybe it's an ulcer, in the stomach lining. Certain bacteria causes the rupture of the stomach lining as they burrow into, that area. So the tissues need to be repaired, and so that the process can be painful. It could be a lot of things, just a backup of food in there. It could be tumor, all kinds of things. Hepatitis, anything that causes inflammation of the liver. So again, dietary and toxic chemicals, a lot of things will disrupt the function of the liver, which stores toxins temporarily until it can eliminate them, gets them out of the rest of the body and just stores it in there. So that itself can cause inflammation of the liver. Gallbladder infections and gallstones, that's an imbalance of fats in the diet. Fat should be kept to a much less proportional amounts compared to animal-derived proteins and, fats from whole foods and the right types of fats, not fried foods. Fried foods are a lot of the problem with that block the passageways, the circulatory passageways in the gallbladder. So that can inflame it and block it and form stones. There's a lot of reasons for the gallbladder to form the gallstones. Also, turmeric has been used for genital herpes, so apparently it aids the immune system to recognize, these microbes that cause the herpes, the viruses and whatnot. Hemorrhoids, weakness in the blood vessels, so apparently it might have some compounds that strengthen the blood vessels. Irritable bowel syndrome, if a body is not eating properly and things aren't being digested, things aren't being moved through. So a lot of things can cause the bowel to be irritated. Gingivitis, gum disease, again, an inflammatory process usually in the happening in the microcirculation of the bloodstream. Kidney inflammation and infections. So the kidney will try to eliminate, organisms that cause inflammation, or you have a backing up again of not flushing, not drinking enough water and flushing through the filtration systems in the kidney. Infections, bacterial infections, viral, parasites, all these different microbial problems that could be concentrated in the kidney. So eczema, the body's trying to detox. Again, a lot of the culprits is too much sugar and too many fried foods causes this kind of eczema and a deficiency in the B vitamins and the minerals and the cleansing phytochemical compounds that are in so many of these plants. So that can also cause problems as far as that goes too. Eczema. So skin disorders, they're always a problem where you have to just detox the body gently over time with the right foods, and the right nutrients, that kind of thing. The body knows how to fix itself. It just needs the right raw materials. And that's all the full range of nutrients, vitamins and minerals known to humankind, and all of these thousands of beneficial phytochemical compounds that are found in plants. Okay, so we have liver disease. So again, there's so many different causes that would cause the liver to be toxic or disrupted in its functions. Leprosy, obviously there's something very, very wrong going on there. Immune system, microbes, and toxic compounds. Leprosy is, has been around for a very long time, so it's probably not a pollutant that's causing leprosy. It's probably, I'd have to look it up. I don't recall at this moment what causes leprosy, but I imagine it would be something like a microbe that causes that. Food poisoning, bacterial, anaerobic bacteria that you found everywhere. If it gets inside the bloodstream, then you're going to have food poisoning. Fever, anything that elevates the body's temperature is a response, and it's an immune response to try to eliminate any invasive microorganisms. So usually if the body will eliminate its temperature as normal temperature, then it will help eliminate and destroy these invasive creatures. Poor circulation, menstrual disorders, poor circulation, of course, just stopping up the body, all the microcirculation in all of the body systems, that's caused by, again, eating the wrong foods and having toxic compounds always present in the body, and having obstructions in the bloodstream from eating the wrong foods that cause weak and damaged blood vessels. So, a person who has poor circulation is in danger of possibly leading to a heart attack or a stroke, or any kind of painful problem. Like, say, people have problems in the calves where there's a circulation problem in the calves, and if you touch it, it feels hot to the touch, and usually a doctor will put you on blood thinners, and things that don't form clots, those kinds of drugs. But if you take care of your body properly, then you won't have a problem like that. Menstrual disorders, hormonal issues, basically that's what that is. Lung infections, again, microorganisms that you inhale, or your immune system isn't able to handle a lot of the particulates that are in the air, or that you inhale, say, in a toxic environment, that kind of thing. Edema, and that is when you swell up and you can actually press your skin, and if there's an indentation that stays there and looks a little yellowish, then that means that the water that your body has is not being circulated inside your trillions of cells. It's outside of the cells, and so it's in the interstitial tissues. So between the cells, there are also tissues. So that's where water gets stuck sometimes if it can't circulate and go through the cells. Okay, so intercellular water retention, the compounds and the nutrients factors in the turmeric have also been shown to help your body regulate its water properly. Eating too much sodium and not enough potassium, which balances your water. Sodium and potassium works together to balance your cells, water that goes in the cell and is circulated outside of the cell. So obviously the root has some aspect of that too. Parasites, poor circulation, urinary tract infections, worms and ringworms. So again, the immune system, helping clear that bloodstream to improve circulation, oxygenation, and delivery of nutrients to every single cell. The complete ends of your body, the fingertips and the toes, all the way up to the top of your head. I mean, all these things need to be circulated all the time, even at the microcapillary level. All right, so used for healing wounds. Okay, so apparently it has compounds also in it that help repair tissues, balances the reproductive system. Lactation, it helps with lactation. Again, a hormonal aid there to help produce more milk for the mother. purifies reproductive organs and breast milk, purifies the semen, is an astringent, tightening or toning effect, carminative, which relieves flatulence, and a cholagogue, which promotes the flow of bile from the gallbladder to the duodenum, the first and shortest segment of the small intestine. Okay, so the diuretic aspects of it promotes increased production of urine. It's a stimulant, increases alertness, attention, and energy, and it's a vulnerary, which heals the wounds. So all these are part of the circulatory system, the immune system, all working together, the nervous system, the hormonal system. All of these compounds in the turmeric root have been shown to regulate and balance all of these different systems. Okay, aids digestion. Again, the raw root has digestive enzymes or other phytochemicals that help regulate digestion. Mosquito repellent, I don't know how they arrived at that. After taking it internally, it's been found to also be a mosquito repellent. Perhaps because of its high B complex, compounds that are in the root, it turns the blood slightly bitter so that mosquitoes don't like the taste of it or the smell of it. It's undetectable. You're not going to go around smelling, badly, but sometimes mosquito repellents work from the inside out. But sometimes perhaps they're flowers or even just the compound itself. If you've ever tasted it, it's very, very bitter, right? So maybe they don't like the way it smells or something, kind of thing. Anyway, that's the conclusion that all the research that I found in about the turmeric. And so this study, I'm going to go to the study right now in the book so that you can, it's mentioned 3 times. One of them should be the scientific reference. So let's see what the third one is. Yeah, okay, so there's 2 studies. Let's see if the other study is on turmeric as well. Okay, now, so the other one was the study that we need to look at. So this scientist was a part of another group of scientists that worked on something else. All right, so let's go back to the second one here. Third one. Okay, that was the third one. All right, so let's go and take a look at this scientific reference. It was published in the Journal of Nutritional Disorders and Therapy, and this is the publication in the issue. And so this was conducted in 2015, and this is where it can be found. You just copy the DOI number here, and let's go online and find that scientific research. And I believe that was the name of the study, The Cures in the Roots. Yes, okay, so going back to the document, The Cures in the Roots, so we're on the correct research study that was done and reported in this particular journal. Let's go there. You see the DOI reference is the same there. So here we go. As you can tell, I did a lot of reading for a lot of months to put this book together. So this is what the plant looks like. Sometimes people eat stuff and they don't know what the plant looks like, They don't know how to recognize it in nature. So this is all of the research that is done. So the abstract says, this study aims to assess the core health benefits of turmeric. According to most research, turmeric is proclaimed as the most effective nutritional constituent in existence based on its unparalleled benefits for body and brain. The science supports the herb, validating the compounds with medicinal properties. All right, so this Journal of Nutrition is put out by, apparently, it looks like the Berkeley College in Woodbridge, New Jersey. So this is one, and it's called the Journal of Nutritional Disorders and Therapy. And you can see here that it's a legitimate journal. It has that DOI, and it has the abbreviated name of the journal, the year, and the issue and the section. All right, so as we go through, we'll see that it's summarized. All the research that was ever done on turmeric is summarized in this peer-reviewed study. So the health benefits is listed here. in layperson's terms. You can tell it's a layperson's for the benefit of the layperson, because it's all in English, and they don't describe individually. As you can see, all these different numbers here are references of all of the different studies that have been done on turmeric. So anytime you see a little number in the brackets there, it's all the different studies that have been done on turmeric. So this peer-reviewed study just gathered all of these different research, and just picking this out that catches my eye. It says peer-reviewed research has found that turmeric can positively impact over 581 diseases, and curcumin alone has been found to affect over 560 diseases. And here's the scientific reference for that. And of course, these reference numbers are associated with what's at the end of this document. So you can see their scientific studies that they refer to here in these citation references here. Okay, so as you can see, turmeric has been extensively studied for a very long time, and here's another journal that they mentioned that has been reporting a lot of these researchers' results. Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry. There are literally thousands of journals out there that you'll encounter if you're doing this kind of research. So it just goes on. There's 6 pages of summarization of all of the studies done on this, and it also lists the different nutrients in it, different types of sugars, different types of fiber, and various types of fats, very beneficial, monounsaturated, polyunsaturated, omega-3s, probably saturated fat. Saturated fat is not the bad thing, not the bad guy. You have to balance unsaturated, monounsaturated with trans fats in your diet. Excuse me, no trans fats. I'm talking about saturated fats. Okay, you don't want trans fats in your diet, and obviously a fresh herb like this will not have any trans fats in it. Calories from fat, just gives you all the breakdown. Even cholesterol doesn't have any cholesterol in it. And the water content, high water content foods are very, very important. It's the pure water. These plants take up the water and transform it into the purest form. So also lists all the different vitamins in the compound. And I don't know what the size of it is. They don't say. Oh, here it is. This is the beginning of it. So we're talking about 2 teaspoons. Okay. So you're getting all the different types of vitamin A. Your body converts all these carotenoids and retinoids that are found in the root here into vitamin A as needed. So you don't have to worry about vitamin A toxification. So if you eat vitamin A from, say, fish liver oil or something like that, you really have to watch the amount you take in. It can overload the liver, and it can become very toxic in the body. So then we've got all the different types here, the vitamins that it has, kind of thing, in just 2 little teaspoons. And the body works with micronutrients. You don't have to have a whole glass full of these nutrients. These micronutrients are very, very effective, obviously, in the body. Different types of carbohydrates, protein, 34 grams. Protein indicates amino acids, by the way, and not necessarily a complete protein containing all 8 essential amino acids, which is the benefit of eating animal-derived proteins, because they always contain all of the 8 essential amino acids that our bodies can't produce. So once we have those 8 essential amino acids, then our bodies can produce the other 11 amino acids and build new tissues, new structures, new body fluids, everything that the body needs. The body is mostly made out of protein, other than water. So all the structures, everything in the body, all the hormones, all the enzymes the body has to make, all these inflammatory proteins, all these messenger proteins, there's trillions, that our bodies need to produce every single moment of our lives. So we need those all 8 essential amino acids. If you're a vegetarian and you're only eating plant foods, you have to know which amino acids are in which plants to combine those plants. And usually plants don't have nearly enough protein as, say, an animal-derived source. So that's why I don't really advocate vegetarianism. I'm sorry if that offends anybody out there. I didn't make us. I didn't create us. That's just a scientific fact. I've seen so many protein deficiency problems in clients over the 40 years, 30 years I was in practice. In the last 10 years also, taking clients occasionally, but mostly looking in the research and verifying the fact that we do need these amino acids present in the body all at once. It could halt any number of biochemical processes in this rebuilding, regeneration, repair process in the body if we don't have those amino acids present all the time. It'll dip into our own body stores and take those amino acids, break those down. So that's a wasting away of our valuable body protein when you can just have it in your meals. All right, so that as an aside. All right, so 2 teaspoons of turmeric. It looks like they use ground turmeric powder, has 15.58 calories. Big deal. You know, you're eating 2,000 to 3,000 calories a day on a low calorie diet if you're exercising, you know, balancing everything out that way. So that's not a lot of calories, and look at all the nourishment and the health benefits you get from it anyway. All right, so negligible amounts of simple sugars and a little bit of complex sugars. Fructose is always a fruit sugar that's in any plant, and glucose. Plants have glucose, but our blood sugar is glucose, so it's great to get it in the diet as well. So here's the nutritional breakdown. Now you've got the minerals, and so look at all of the nutrient factors that are in our foods. It just blows me away. It's very high in the minerals. Notice the other ones were, you know, smaller amounts, but the turmeric happens to have 8.49 milligrams of magnesium, 0.34 of manganese, all of these essential minerals that play all of these roles in our bodily processes. Phosphorus, look how much potassium is in there. Let's see how much sodium it has. Doesn't seem to have any sodium in it. So yeah, a lot of plants have high potassium amounts, so you can salt your foods occasionally, especially if you don't have high blood pressure problems and you exercise regularly. So you have a lot of leeway as far as, you know, oh, here it is, sodium, 1.67 milligrams. So yeah, usually the ratio between sodium and potassium is like 1 to 3 kind of thing, and this is far beyond that. So it's very high in potassium as plants goes. Omega-3 fatty acids, those are so important for precursors, you know, for producing all the hormones the body needs, and also for nourishing the cells, the nervous system cells, and also the cell structures and the pliability of our blood vessels. I mean, fatty acids are so important, you know, and knowing the different types of fatty acids that you take in from whole foods is so critical to your health. So this has the full gamut of the different types of fatty acids and the plant sterols. So these are the plant sterols here. Doesn't appear to have a lot of these in there. Okay, that's fine. Other plants have them. So linoleic acid is another, you know, fatty acid or precursor or after effect of ingesting the fatty acids. Linolenic acid, stearidonic, icosapentaenoic, arachidonic. You might have heard these in different supplements over the years. Icosapentaenoic acid, or EPA, you see that a lot. Docosapentaenoic acid, or DPA, and docosahexaenoic acid, or DHA. You see these being bandied about in the nutritional supplement industry. It has very little saturated fats, which is fine. Saturated fats in their balance with the unsaturated fats. Monounsaturated fats are very, very good for us. And it doesn't seem to have a lot of amino acids, so it's not a good protein source, but it has very highly, it's a highly medicinal food, right? All right, so these are all the numbers that we saw in brackets throughout the whole document. So, so they look like they're just defining or listing very casually where they found their information. But basically, a peer-reviewed study isn't going to be full of these different citations, like this one here, like this one that I pointed out in the book. But yeah, it just looks like it's a legitimate peer-reviewed study that just compiled all the different types of studies that have ever been done on the turmeric, and just gave a very effective and very thorough, you know, peer-reviewed study. So that's what a peer-reviewed study is. It's more for the layperson, really, but it's actually one of the most, or I would say the most credible source of information you can go to for the real science behind your own nutritional physiology. And if you were to go to all the different, you know, different studies that were done, like, so, okay, here's a couple of them. They cited this one. Let's just click that as an example, and I'll show you very quickly before I end this very long program here. Let's go to another tab, and let's try that scientific reference that they list here in this peer-reviewed study. The cures and the roots, what was the name of it? Let's go back to it. Oh, that was the one we're already on. But I think I'll just press the Enter key again and see what happens here. Okay, it's called The Cures and the Roots. Oh, so it must be the same one as this one, is it? Let's check. Trying to find that DOI. 1000163. Okay, that's the same one. All right, so they're just reiterating the citation here in case anyone wants to cite it in their work. So this is the AMA, the formal way of presenting the scientific research in this format. So that's very specific too. Okay, so, you know, this is only one example of the peer-reviewed studies that are done on all the botanicals that have ever been studied on Earth. Okay, so today it's all about the turmeric, and I hope that it was an eye-opener for you and you were able to see the kind of research that I did that went into this whole book. So if you'd like to order the book and learn more about the other 108 botanicals that I put into the book, then you can go to holisticchoices.com and click on books by Mary Esther Gilbert. It'll take you to the books that I've written. And at the bottom, it's the most recent book that I've published, although I have two coming very soon in the next month or so that will also be published, that will be placed underneath this book on that particular page. So yeah, if you scroll to the bottom, in fact, I'll show you where it is right now. I'll just take you there just to save us time here. I'll go to my website here, holisticchoices.com, and you'll see books by Mary Esther Gilbert. Just go there, and you'll see the books that I've published so far, more in the works. And here's the book that I'm referring to. This is where I got the turmeric monograph out of. So you can order your printed copy, or you can order the ebook version. And this will take you to the Amazon website. I like to put everything in one place, though, so people can know where to look. But if you do an internet search on my name, so you'll see everything I've done. You know, my books come up, my website, different pages of my website, the LinkedIn, the books, you know, that I've written, Facebook, you know, everything about me. I'm an open book. I'm all over the internet, and that's what I want. I want to educate the masses to improve their health, to understand what goes on inside their own nutritional physiology in their own bodies. You know, you can go to my YouTube channel. That has a whole bunch of videos, educational videos that you can view, you know. So yeah, I mean, I have a whole health transformation series in there, and once in a while I'll just have some tidbits to share to the public. So this is all going to be the kind of thing that I will be teaching at my True Health Mastery subscription website, and that's not up yet, but I will be announcing it. If you want to know when that will be available, then, and if you want to learn more in depth about your health and really take charge of your health and really be knowledgeable about your health so you never become a victim of misinformation again, and you might even be able to teach your physician a thing or two, you know, putting it mildly. But basically, you know, this is where it's at. So this health transformation series will take you through the whole human body, and you know, it'll summarize, you know, and you'll become much more familiar with how your body works and kind of thing. So, you know, there's a lot of educational material that I always put out. And then back at my website, there are also many videos too. So I endorse, every once in a great while, I'll endorse products for a company if I think the products are worth endorsing. So, you know, you'll see different products that I advocate. And also I will, you know, do products for certain companies. And even though sometimes we're just discussing what the products do, most of these videos that I produce for companies are very educational, you know, and I'm not a distributor for any of these companies. I just advocate excellent products. And so if they ask me to go in on their Zoom calls and answer their nutritional health questions, I will. And a lot of the botanicals that are in a lot of these products that I endorse, I've already written about anyways, so it's no big deal to me. So these are educational videos of their product Zoom calls, you know, so I'll get on those once in a while, but there's a lot of very, very detailed educational information about your nutritional health as well in there. Let's see, there's, I also do that for another company. So same thing, you know, I produce free downloads for these people, for their associates. And so it's just all about the ingredients in the products, not about the product themselves. I don't care what the product is. I just care about what goes into a product. And educating the representatives is so important. If they have an excellent product and they can't answer, you know, questions about what's in their products, then, you know, that's a problem. That's a problem. Yeah, it helps them generate sales, but good for them, you know, kind of thing. My mission is to get this health information out to the public so that you will know how to manage your health and how to prevent the disease process and live a long and healthy, happy life. That is my goal. That's why I do this. And I don't do this often for companies, but mostly, you know, I do my own research, I compile my own books, and I produce my own videos. So if you like what you've heard today, there's more coming. I will be covering about 10 out of the 109 botanicals in this book. And here's the book right here. Also, I just explain, you know, a little bit about what's coming, what's in the book, kind of thing. But mostly, you know, just get the book. You'll refer to it for years, and you'll have at hand exactly what these different plants do in the body, right? So I'll show you what else is in the book. All these other, that's another book here. Let me go to a different book here. Don't know if I have that book up already. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so let me go ahead and enlarge that. All right, so this is the book. This is the manuscript that's in my computer, but it's published. It's on Amazon, and you can go through my website and order it too. So, I mean, these are just to show you how many botanicals I did this kind of research on, and that's in this book. Okay, so let's go to, where's the table of contents? Here it is. Okay, so we'll go to the scientific monographs. It's in chapter 5, starting on page 48. And so I did that kind of in-depth research on every single one of these botanicals that you see here. The scientific names are there as well. And you'll recognize a lot of these are just common foods, you know, carrots, cauliflower. But then you've got other plants that have been used around the world and are in supplements, you know, that I want to. I'm going to be probably publishing a second edition, or not a second edition, not a revision, but yeah, well, a volume 2 for this particular one. And just keep going. There's so many botanicals out there that research has been done about, and the public needs to know. They need to know how to manage their health properly, how to take care of the body properly. It all starts at the microcell level with proper nourishment and this whole plant kingdom that is put here for us to utilize to build our health, maintain our health, protect our health, protect the integrity of our DNA, our very genetic code of life. All right, so as you can see, it's the last one here, turmeric root. And I'll skip around, you know, and I'll choose various ones. I'd like to cover some of the mushrooms, the super mushrooms. Those are phenomenal. I'll probably do more than one mushroom in one video. And so I'll cover some of the very potent herbs that are so protective, some of the spices, leafy greens, edible flowers, you know, all these things that are in the book. There's a whole database of phytonutrients, all the phytochemical compounds found in thousands of plants in this book. And there's also, you know, all these different wonderful reference charts where you can tell from if a system is malfunctioning, what botanicals have been found to help repair at the cellular level, and therefore the functioning of that system. So you'll see those charts in there in the book as well. So it's a quick reference kind of book. There's an encyclopedia compendium of terms to define all the scientific terms that you can't help running across when you're talking about nutritional physiology, you know. So yeah, so it's a pretty comprehensive book, and like I said, it's something that every home needs in their home library to refer to make sure that all of your systems are functioning optimally, that they're properly nourished with all of these different compounds that are found in nature, you know, on the earth. All right, so that's it for today. I will be covering another one. I'll announce that soon, or you'll just see it pop up if you prescribe to my channel. Then you'll get the notification. You know, just subscribe, like, share, and please help your fellow human being understand how to maintain their health properly and prevent the terrible disease process. Okay, so over and out for now. Thank you so much for hanging in there if you're still here. And I will post the link to the book below so you can order the book if you'd like. And like I said, please share and subscribe so you can get notified. Tap that notification bell so you can be notified whenever a new video is done. Have fun and just explore everything that I presented here today, and you will come away with a lot more knowledge and a lot more empowered to be able to take care of your body. Take care of your body, it'll take care of you. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye now.